Try to keep this one short, especially because I don't think it's very complicated. But is it important to mix up your workouts? Now, maybe you're thinking, oh, is it important for muscle growth to change up your workouts? And actually, I was thinking, is it important for overall musculoskeletal health to change up your workouts? And the answer is yes. But as for is it important for muscle growth? Well, yes, because if you get injuries, you can't build muscle as well as if you don't get injuries. You get injuries and they get worse and worse, and then you can't work out. You're not going to build muscle too well. Also, your muscles get used to doing the same movements, and you're adapting your brain nervous system rather than just your muscles. That's why even if you take just a week off the gym, you lose your edge. You cannot perform at your peak performance. That's why even if you have a crazy bench press, if you go to do a crazy dumbbell press, yes, I know it needs more little muscles to hold the dumbbells, but you will not be able to do quite as much as you would expect. Same thing if you go from dumbbells to bench or from machine. If you mix up the exercises, but they seem pretty similar, if you go from one chest press machine to a different chest press machine, your nervous system really learns to adapt to a specific exercise, and you're able to use your muscles very well. And in my experience, you may not necessarily build as much muscle after a certain point because it's just really optimized how to use the muscles. But let's address the injuries. So when you perform any movement over and over and over, the same movement, the same way, you're putting the same stress on the same parts of your body. When that is day in, day out, month after month, year after year, it builds up and you're going to get wear and tear or injuries. You don't want that. You want to avoid that. So while certain exercises are key to bodily development, like the squat, the bench press, and let's say deadlifts or rows, you do want to mix things up and do different accessory workouts especially, and even, take a little bit of time off the bench press, take a little bit of time off the squats, take a little bit of time off your deadlifts. Because if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you're putting wear and tear in the same spot, and either you're going to get wear and tear, or it's going to wear and tear enough that it breaks. So by mixing things up, you give it a chance to heal, you put the wear and tear somewhere else. You may be thinking, I hope you're not thinking, but you're still getting wear and tear, but it's somewhere else. It's not in the same spot. You let it heal while you get some over here. Then you change it to over here, and over here heals. And the point is it's always changing so it doesn't get too bad in any one spot and fail. So I think that's the number one reason to change up your workouts. But also progress. Now it's really hard to detach from, I'm a bench press addict. I love the bench press. I love seeing 3 plates at least on each side, because anything less than 3 plates to me doesn't look that big. So I love seeing at least 3 plates on each side and doing it. And it's really hard for me to go to the gym and not want to bench press. I love it. I love how it feels. I just love everything about the bench press. But if I want to make optimal progress for my muscle size and their health, but I just addressed the health, so I'll talk more about the size, I need to mix up the exercises, do different things to work the muscles in different ways and stimulate them to grow more. You do the same thing for what, let's not even try to address why, but if you keep doing the same thing, it does seem to get diminished results. And you can get less diminished results by mixing up the exercises, whether that's by doing flies or dips or incline press or I don't know what you're going to do. And I'm talking about chest because I love bench press the most out of any exercise, and curls, but it applies to all parts of the body. I'm really great at rows. are objectively very good at pull-ups also. Anyone that can do 24 pull-ups, and I could probably do more if I really tried, is objectively really good at pull-ups. But I don't do pull-ups that much nowadays. And I remember last year I went to the park with a friend, and we did pull-ups, dips, curls, and tricep extensions. And that was the most sore my biceps and lats had been in a long, long time. Doing heavy barbell rows or heavy dumbbell rows, they're great. But because I hadn't done a lot of pull-ups in a long time, plus when I used to do them when I was younger, I was a lot lighter, so it just changes things. When I went and I did these pull-ups last year, it was only like 4 or 5 months ago actually. Last school year, not last calendar year. But it just destroyed my biceps and lats, and they took a long time to recover. Now, I did get a little bit sick, so maybe that's why it took a long time to recover. Who knows? Maybe the inflammation from getting a bit sick made them a lot more sore. But I do think even without any of those extra factors, that workout, because I mixed things up, really just hit them a lot harder. Because I experience the same thing when I do other workouts. Something that's mind-blowing is how I can curl. I mean, I can curl up to like 180 pounds for one rep, let's say. But I can curl for many reps 135. And I can row in one arm, 130 for many reps. But I go and I wrestle, and I grab somebody's legs, and they sprawl. Like, that means like they're standing, and I grab their legs, and I like put them back, and my arms are pulling. And even if it's not that exact thing, but I'm doing other wrestling stuff, and I'm grabbing someone, and they're trying to like pull away, and it's very dynamic, pulling on my arm in different ways. My biceps take a different beating than when I work them out in the gym. One that they're not so used to. When I would grab and people would sprawl, it was certainly a much worse beating than working out in the gym. In fact, I got some injuries last year that took over a month to recover each time. So I had to be very careful, take a break from wrestling. Like, I could practice wrestling moves, but I could not do sparring matches of wrestling because I kept getting bicep tendon injuries. But I can curl a ton of weight, do crazy rows. But something about grabbing someone's legs when they sprawled worked my biceps in a completely different way and slightly tore my tendons. Luckily, they've gotten stronger, and recently when I grabbed someone's legs, it worked my biceps really hard. They got really sore. They got a very deep tearing feeling in a good way, luckily, and they did not get a tendon tear. So I'm going to continue to be careful and continue to carefully wrestle so that they can continue to get stronger and stronger so that one day I can do match after match, day after day, and my biceps will be completely okay. See, I'm a lyrical genius. It rhymed. So yeah, you wouldn't expect certain things to put such a toll on your muscles because you're so strong at one thing, but everything works the body in different ways. And if you want optimal development, optimal strength, and optimal health, you need to do tons of different exercises. And also, even if you don't care about the size of the muscle, because I talked about that, like I just said 10, 20 seconds ago, for optimal strength. People sometimes think that powerlifters, for example, are so much stronger than bodybuilders. Is that true? It can be a certain powerlifter can be stronger than a certain bodybuilder. But let's say we just take them in general and disregard the ones at the very top because maybe it gets different at the very top, disregard the ones at the very bottom, just take the middle. I don't think it's accurate to say that powerlifters are stronger than bodybuilders. In fact, it's very possible. Now, of course, I cannot say for everybody. I can't even say for that middle ground. But bodybuilders are a lot stronger than you would think, even though they're less strong at one specific or three specific lifts. Because being strong at one lift does not make you strong. It makes you strong, but it's largely adaptation to that lift rather than actual strength. Actual strength is the ability to lift in any way and lift a lot in any way. That's why I'm excited to get stronger by practicing more grabbing people's legs when they're sprawling and doing that movement, because that is a strength that I have not developed enough. When I was younger, I guess I was more developed in that way because I did wrestling practice. And who knows, maybe my muscles are just overdeveloped in comparison to my tendons right now. I'm looking at some fireworks out the window. Very common here in Belarus to see fireworks. You probably see them at least once a week, if not like every other day, every 3 days. Just people launching them off, sometimes like official events, but usually it's just people launching them off. Because they're legal here and you can get mortars that go up really high and explode. Yeah, for whatever reason, right now, wrestling is really hard on my biceps. When I was younger, that was not the case. Like I was saying, one theory of mine is that my muscles are overdeveloped compared to my tendons. So even though my muscles can hold my arm and pull on someone really well, the tendons are not able to handle that load. I said I was going to make this video short, but it turned into a long video. Hope you like it. I think it's a great, really important video. But regardless of the reason why I'm getting so much wear and tear when wrestling, I am going to build up my ability to handle it, to get overall stronger. I'm not simply going to go to the gym and lift heavier barbells or dumbbells, because it's doing a variety of exercises that builds up actual strength and health of whatever it is. And to finish this up, I'm just going to say if you stick to the same exercises, you're probably going to stop making progress at some point. So you got to change things up. And also, you cannot always focus on just going as heavy as you can. It just doesn't seem to work in my experience. You're either going to get injured or stop making progress. And it's really hard. Like if you get really strong, you want to keep lifting really heavy, but sometimes it's for the best that you lift lighter weights for more reps. And then you go back to lifting heavy, or you periodize it, or you do bigger cycles. I guess that's pretty much the same thing, but you mix it up. So you gotta mix things up if you want to make progress. I hope you like this video. Check out my other videos. Scroll through them a lot, because I've got a lot of videos on a lot of different things. I got my fitness videos, I got my Belarus videos, I got my health videos, I got my more scientific videos. Got my dating videos, so really scroll through them. Most of my videos, especially the older ones, are all fitness. But then I started to run out of stuff and switched more to other topics. And if you got tendinitis, search on Amazon for A Systematic Guide to Defeating Tendinitis. It's a book I wrote. And if you don't like wasting your time and you don't like wasting your money, I would get that ASAP. But I am not licensed to give medical advice, and that book is not medical advice. So I have to recommend that either you buy it and you chuck it out the window, or you buy it and you hit your head. I shouldn't recommend that either, but you buy it and you somehow get amnesia and you don't listen to anything it says. That way you can keep living in misery and not follow my advice, which is not medical advice. So just ignore it, and your life won't get any better, because you would hate for that to happen. You want to keep living in pain and misery and not enjoying your life. A Systematic Guide to Defeating Tendinitis by Andrew Hutchings.